All right, another tip to protect your wrist when you're doing a pull-based movement is, again, to be very mindful. You have to be focused on the technique, right? Often, again, we fall into the ideology that we just have to survive and get through the set no matter what it takes. And we tend to fall out of technique and just go into survival mode, whereas it's so important to maintain that technique and form through any given movement. Barbell row. If you're doing an overhand barbell row, we do have a tendency under fatigue to roll the wrist inwards to generate the movement and create the range. Now, obviously, we're putting a lot of pressure on the wrist to do that. So, to avoid that, again, knuckles down, forearms stiff, wrist stiff. So perform the movement, keeping the knuckles exactly as they are without forcing the wrist to curl inwards. Now, the only way you're going to do that is to actually think about the movement as you're doing it. And like anything, the more you do something the same way over and over again with consistency, the more you're likely to do it the correct way over and over again. So practice what you preach in terms of doing the movement from the first set up the technique, and basically replicate that through each set until you complete all of your working sets. So just to go over it, don't curl in, keep the wrist stiff, keep the knuckles pointed to the ground, generate the force so your elbow is pushing back to allow for a really good movement, protect the wrist, you'll have no problem with that particular exercise.